Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to fill my burette. I'm going to make sure that my burette is nice and sturdy and that it's all set up nicely. I've got my little funnel at the top so I don't mess. I've made sure that the tap here is closed. And that way I can now fill my burette with vinegar. I have a waste beaker at the bottom, okay? That's because sometimes I want to get rid of the overflow. I want to make sure that I start my burette on 0. We don't have to start it on 0. Remember, to find out how much acid we've used, we just need to find the final reading minus the initial reading. Final reading minus initial reading. Okay, so as you can see, I've gone too far. Can you see that? So now I'm going to use my waste beaker to allow it to run out until I reach 0. I should be standing on a chair because you know. Okay, I'm on 0, and that's because the bottom of the meniscus inside of the burette is on the 0. So not the top part of the meniscus, but that bottom part is on 0, which means that's what my measurement is. Are we okay with that? This is all sorted, we're all set up. That's my waste beaker for the acid, which is fine. There's my vinegar. I'm now going to pipette my sodium hydroxide. How much sodium hydroxide do I need to put into the conical flask? 25 centimeters cubed. All right, so I've got 25 milliliters in terms of a pipette here, and I'm going to fill it. I'm going to fill it to the line on the pipette. That tells me that I've got 25 centimeters cubed. So I'm just going to fill that. All right, so I overfill the pipette so that I can let it drop down. We've all done this with a straw at some point, you know, with cool drink where you like stop. Never done it? Sorry, Grace. Okay, now I'm going to drop a little bit until I have exactly 25. Do you see that? So I have my exact 25 bits, and now I'm going to pop that into my flask, like so. We're all good. What's wrong? You guys okay? I'm worried about you. Okay, so I have that. And now I'm going to use some phenolphthalein, which is the indicator of choice for this particular experiment. Can you tell me why it's my indicator of choice, grade 12s? Remember, there are rules about which indicators you use for which acids and which bases. So if you remember from the titration curves in class, do you remember this? Yes? We spoke about the fact that we use phenolphthalein if we have a strong base and a weak acid, which is exactly what we've got. Okay? So I'm going to put 1 drop in, 2 drops in, 3 drops in, lots of them. Okay? So there is my phenolphthalein solution, and I'm going to put that in as my indicator. All right. So this is the stuff that I want to tell you about when it comes to a titration. You are going to do titrations in varsity a lot if you do science. There are a couple of rules that you can do. Okay. The first run is always rubbish. The reason I say that is because you have no idea how much you need to use, more or less. So the first run is almost like a trial run to see how much more or less you need and when you need to slow down in terms of your dripping of the burette. Okay. Then if you have an idea of where to stop, you can start slowing down until you get the neutralization to the drop exactly. If you're in varsity, you have one of 2 ways of doing it. You can either do the first run really quickly, or you can check what other groups are doing. Let them do the first run first, and then you go, oh, round about there. Just you ready? So I'm now going to put in my acid, and I'm going to drip my acid in. It started on 0, hey? I'm watching for a color change. Oopsie. We're almost there, I don't think. So, because the desks are white, we can see the color change quite dramatically. If you are working on a wooden desk or on another surface, just put a piece of white paper underneath, just to make sure you see the color change.
We're going to do this 3 times.
We're going to do this 4 times. This one and 3 times more. Because this one will give us an indication of whereabouts to slow down. Does that make sense? Like right now, oops, see the color starts changing. You guys can stand up if you want and click closer if you want to. If you want to see the color change, or you can just sit where you are. That's also fine.
And does the amount of phenolphthalein that you add affect the reaction?
No, so it doesn't matter how much indicator I add, it's fine. It's really, if I put too much in, it's just a waste. And indicators are fairly expensive. Okay, so now I can see that as it drips in, just where it hits the surface, I'm starting to get a slight color change. Can you see it? It's starting to go light. And that looks like it's neutralized. Okay, which means I can now check the measurement that I've been given. So my initial run, I would have 2 bits of information written down. I would have the amount of sodium hydroxide that I'm dealing with, and then I also have the amount of acid that I used, yes? So you're just going to write down those bits for me. Okay.
Then how?
Yeah. You can pause for a second.